Hello.
We're very excited to be here. Welcome to the Star Wars Trading Card Collectors panel. Everybody having a good Comic-Con today? Yeah. Awesome. Glad to hear that. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Star Wars trading cards from vintage to new sets. So tonight, my name is David Neuhausel, and I've been an avid trading card collector for Star Wars for about 10 years now. We have Shawn Mullen here, who's going to talk about the vintage sets, and then we also have Kenneth here, who's going to talk about a little bit about the newer sets. And we also have Carlos over here, who's going to talk about his life as a collector. He's got some books that he wants to talk about in regard to trading card collecting. All right, so let's get started here. Okay, this is the vintage set. So, Shawn, do you want to tell us about the vintage sets?
Yes, so as you can see, there's 5 different colors, and that's because everybody can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah, 5.
That's because they had 5 different series, and obviously the first ever series they had was they're calling it the Blue Card series. And it's the only one where they have actual stars on the borders back then. Now they got the retro cards, and they do them, as you've seen, they have all the movies in them, and they have the blue and the red and the green, and I've seen stars on different colors, purple and black. I think some of you have seen those. They're pretty cool sets. But that's what started it all. It's the first 5 series. And one of the most famous ones is the number 1 Luke in the Stormtrooper. It's a nice portrait of Luke. And the reason why it's the most, probably the most valuable out of all of them, because it's the number 1. And so back then, in card collecting, it wasn't like a big hobby. I mean, it was, but they didn't have like the sturdy card boxes and the plastic sheets. I remember back in the day, my friend, he would put his cards in a photo album, with the sticky back and the clear plastic would peel off. So back then, most kids, including me, would keep the cards together by putting rubber bands, and sometimes do them too tight, so the number 1 Luke got damaged a lot. So that's why the value of that card got raised, because it was the number 1 card, and a lot of them had the rubber band damage on the sides. So that's why that's probably not the rarest vintage card, but it's the most sought out, because especially in good condition.
Now let's talk a little bit about the stickers that come along with the cards.
Yes, so, and also in each set, they had 66 cards. So, 66 times 5, I can't think what the last number is. And each set, they had stickers. And actually, the stickers are more valuable than the cards. Is a lot. First off, there was only 1 sticker available in each pack. And second off, most kids, they would peel them off and put it on their books or the refrigerator or something like that. So it's a little harder to complete each set of the stickers.
Yeah, so each set is like, each of the vintage sets is 66 cards, and there's 11 stickers for each set. So, and what's interesting about the vintage cards is that the first set goes from 1 to 66, But the second set doesn't start at number 1 again. It starts at 67 and goes up from there. And it does that for all 5 sets. So it's basically one giant set. And the stickers are the same way. It goes from 1 to 11, and then the stickers go from 12 to, what is it, 22? I believe so.
12 to 21.
Yeah.
11 cards.
Okay. All right, so moving on. Well, also another thing about the cards is that even though the blue set is set after, or sought after, because it was the actual first set, but the rarest is the orange set. And I'll tell you why, because first of all, 5 series for any movie is a lot. And by the time the orange came around, I guess the hobby or the collecting kind of just waned a little bit, and it wasn't very profitable. They weren't selling anything, so they probably just cut that short, other than from the other 4 sets. So it's actually more rare. So if you find like a shoebox of orange cards at a flea market or something, keep in mind that that is the rarest set. Okay? So moving on. All right, so that is for the Star Wars. The sequel, Empire Strikes Back, had 3 series. So you want to tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, so in 1980, The Empire Strikes Back came out, and I was very excited. Another thing I want to mention about the vintage Star Wars cards, at the time, there was not a lot of things available when the movie came out, but the blue set was out about when the movie came out. They had the comics out already. They had the paperback books, and I believe they had the soundtrack record. But the toys weren't out, and companies were scrambling around to make merchandise. But the Star Wars cards was one of the other few items that was available when the movie came out. And so in 1980, we got the red borders of The Empire Strikes Back. So that was the first set of The Empire Strikes Back. And in this one, they got a little fancy. As you can see, the cover card was the promo, which was also a poster that you could buy in the stores and put up to the wall. And you got the star files of, I forgot how many, I think they did like 12 characters or so. I would have to go back and look at my cards. And they had I really liked the Ralph McQuarrie little series they did there. That was their beautiful cards with the gold trim. And of course you got the regular action cards, and for some reason the stickers, they made them with letters. And it was also weird because it wasn't like A, B, C, and D. They were just random letters. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess they wanted kids to spell when they stuck on stuff. Yeah, I don't know why they did the letter thing stuff. But it's unique because I haven't seen any other movie do that, or any other. I could be wrong, but I think Empire Strikes Back is the only one that did that. And again, of course, the stickers are harder to complete than the actual set. And the next series is the blue borders, which I really liked. And there's the cover card of The Empire Strikes Back poster. And in this one, they had vehicles, which was called StarCraft.
Right, there was like a number of spaceships that were featured on a card.
And I really liked those. As a kid collecting, I really loved the spaceship cards that always attracted me. And they had the behind the scenes cards, which I thought was very unique at the time. And I really liked the blue set. And also after that was the gold. It was golden with green borders, or green trim. And that is actually the rarest Empire Strikes Back set, because that came out in 1982, and they were getting ready for, well, at the time they were calling it Revenge of the Jedi. And so that set was short-printed. So if you try to find the sets down at on the dealer floor, that set's going to be the most expensive out of all the Empire Strikes Back cards.
Yeah, and the third set, instead of just featuring scenes from the movie for the characters, for some reason they decided to have illustrations of the characters. Like Princess Leia over here and Crowbot. Not sure, is there any reason why they did that?
I think, like in the first set, they had the star file cards. That was similar to that, but if you notice, that's Ralph McQuarrie art.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Ralph McQuarrie art?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, I just wanted to add that some of the pictures that you find in the Empire Strikes Back sets, you can see one here where it says examine Luke's tauntaun. Some of these scenes that you see in the cards, you don't see in the movies. So it's sort of like edited scenes that you just don't see. And also there's skills of the Star Pilot, and you see Han looking over some parts, I would assume is the Millennium Falcon. Not sure what that was about, but it was very interesting to see those scenes.
So some of the cards, and going back to the original 5-card set of Star Wars, they had cards from deleted scenes. Like in the green set, you saw Luke Skywalker by the moisture evaporator with the binocs, looking up at the space battle of the Star Destroyer and the Tantive 4. There were some cards of kept scenes, and the same thing with Empire Strikes Back with the Tauntaun being examined. I don't remember, I think there were a couple of cards in the Return of the Jedi series also with scenes that were cut in the movie, but also some of the cards, I mean, the scene looks familiar, but it's the angle that's different, because it was probably taken from a photographer on set that's not in the same spot as the actual camera. So you saw some cool shots, kind of unique, that were in the movie, but from a different angle. So that's why some of the cards looked a little different.
Okay, so we're going to just move on to Return of the Jedi that only had 2 series.
Yes, so we all knew at the time that this was the last movie of the trilogy, and George Lucas already announced that as for now, he's not going to do any more Star Wars movies. It was a big question that he would get to any in the future. So with the Return of the Jedi merchandise, especially with the cards, so the first set was the red borders. Oh, sorry. And now the stickers are really unique because now with the stickers, like the other Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, the stickers were really limited, but the Return of Jedi sticker sets, I think there were like 30-something different stickers, and then the same sticker, as you can see with the Yoda, they would have different colors of the same sticker. So I don't know if the stickers of Return of Jedi they're obviously not as rare as Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. And so they did the red series and the blue series, and that was it. And they stopped doing Star Wars cards in 1984, as compared to, Star Wars. They had the cards out in 77, 78, 79. And the same thing with Empire Strikes Back. 1980, the blue set in 81, and the gold set in 82. And so in 1983 was the red cards, and 1984 was the blue cards, which again, The blue set was short printed because they were just finishing up all Star Wars merchandise pretty much. So most Star Wars stuff ended in 1984 and 1985 for your vintage run.
Another thing about these Return of the Jedi stickers, there's like 3 sections of the stickers. You can see that it says 132 cards in the first series and 33 stickers. But actually, there's 66 different types of stickers that you can find in the sets. So collectors prefer to collect every single type of sticker. And it is a daunting challenge to collect all of them, but there is a satisfaction that you know that you have every single type. So a couple of more just interesting vintage sets. You want to talk about these real quick?
This is the Wonder Bread set, which was the first one to have Star Wars cards that were inserted in packaging. And General Mills also, I don't know, do we have pictures of the General Mills?
No, we don't.
Okay. So this is the black borders is from the Wonder Bread. So do they even still make Wonder Bread? Yeah, okay. So I just want to know if you know what I was talking about. So you buy a package of Wonder Bread in like somewhere in the middle after 12 slices. It's a Star Wars card, but I would bunch my hand into the package, smashing all the bread. So my mom is really upset. Anyway.
I hope that nobody ever still has like a full loaf of bread back in 1977. That'd be a file.
So they would have the card on the bottom, and you pull it out. And I don't remember if it was. I don't think they were wrapped because I haven't seen any like wrapped in plastic to protect them. And it was a cool set to complete, even though there weren't that many of them. You had to buy a lot of loaves of bread.
Yeah, there's about 12 of them.
Yeah. Yes.
Somewhere around there.
And so the General Mills was the, in the cereals like Lucky Charms or Blueberry, and they were pretty much the same exact cards, just a different border. I think there were a couple of different variants, but they were pretty much the same exact cards as the Wonder Bread.
Yeah, so Wonder Bread got into the action, and Burger King wanted to get in on the action, and they did. So we want to talk about these real quick.
Yeah, Burger King, now those were really cool sets because, as you can see, it's like an uncut sheet. And so you would get 3 every time you bought a Burger King meal. I don't remember. I do have the sets. I think it's like 4 or 5 or 6 different sleeves of the 3 cards. And they did it for Star Wars, and they also did it for Empire Strikes Back. But Return of the Jedi, for some reason, they did not do that promo.
Yeah, these particular type of cards, they come together as a sheet. You can see the preparations separating the cards. And to find them all together, still intact as a sheet, is probably pretty rare because when these were bought, you probably give them to the kid and then probably separated the cards.
Yeah,
so,
they would cut them up, or if you still had them intact, it was hard to protect them, and the corners and the sides would get worn out.
Man, that should take care of the vintage.
One other thing. So on eBay a few years back, I would say about 8 years ago, I came across bootleg cards from Greece in 1980, and the guy wanted, I think, like $20 a pack. So I bought, at the time I was doing okay, so I bought 5 packs. And you can also find them in singles too. So if you're just curious what they look like, go on eBay and search Star Wars cards, Grease, and you should see the cards. Now, at that time, there was no license of Star Wars in Greece, so these are bootleg cards. The set is really cool because it is not in English, it's in Greek. On the front and also on the back, I forgot to send him some pictures about it because they're pretty cool. Some of the cards are, the basic ones we see in the United States on tops, but also they have some unique cards that weren't in the other sets. And the cool thing about this card set is it also had Star Wars cards with the Empire Strikes Back cards, even though it was an Empire Strikes Back set. And the wrapping, as we call them wax packs, because our cards were made of, the wrappings made out of wax. Well, it was unique because the wrapping was made out of paper, and so they're very delicate. Now, I was curious, I saw what the cards looked like on eBay, but I was curious what I had, so I took the one that was, the worst shaped pack, and I opened it, and curious enough, I think it had 6 cards in it, and one of the cards was a Spock card. So I thought that was very interesting. So obviously, there's some bootleg Star Trek cards also. But if you can ever come across the Greek cards, I would try to maybe purchase some off of maybe eBay just to have one, because they're quite unique.
All right, thank you, Shawn. Okay, Kenneth, can you tell us a little bit about the new sets? Some that has been released recently. And tell me what we can expect to find in some of those packs.
The newer sets in the years, they will come with beautiful sketch cards from artists. They'll come with autograph cards, numbered cards, and limited cards. There's a lot of different new sets out there. And I want to say, I started with you guys back in '77. We all started collecting vintage. I stopped for a while in 1990. I started up again. Oh yes, okay. So a lot of the newer ones will come with promotional cards, autograph cards, sketch cards, and parallel cards. And sorry, it's my first time talking.
Well, tell us a little bit about the sketch cards and inserts and what we can find, or something like parallel sets. Can you elaborate on those a little bit?
The parallel, actually, I should have Mark on. You want to talk a little bit, Mark? This is Mark. He's from Tops. He's the one that gave you all 3 packs of cards.